We have recently launched a new suite of Edexcel International GCSE 9-to-1 qualifications for First Teach September 2017. This video has been created to talk you through the key features of our new accounting, business, commerce and economics qualifications. Before we go into detail about the changes we've made to the new business qualifications, I'd like to give you a quick overview of the changes we've made across the whole suite of our Edexcel International GCSE 9-to-1 qualifications. The first point to highlight is that we have introduced a new 9-to-1 grading scale, with 9 as the top grade to ensure we're really differentiating top performing students and also providing greater differentiation in the middle of the range. The second point to note is that our new qualifications are even more relevant for international learners, with more international content and international business case studies. The third point to note is that we have ensured that our new qualifications allow progression onto further study.
So why choose an Edexcel International GCSE 9-to-1 Business and Finance qualification? There are three key things I'd like to highlight. First is the research that we've undertaken. Over the last 18 months, we've spoken to teachers and universities overseas and in the UK to get their feedback on our specification and on our assessment. From this feedback, we've built a more modern specification in each case with up-to-date content that your students should find engaging. Using the feedback, we've changed how our assessment works. We now have 2 papers in each subject. Each paper is ramped, by which I mean students face easier questions at the start of the paper and build up to high tariff and more challenging questions at the end of the paper. We've also used a consistent taxonomy. This means that the command words we use will always mean the same thing in each subject.
So you may ask, why should you choose Edexcel International GCSE 9-to-1 Accounting? We've listened to you and we actually believe that we've created a qualification that is going to be engaging and accessible to your students. One of the important things with accounting today is that students need to be able to apply that accounting knowledge in an international setting. So part of that understanding is that they must be able to use international accounting standard terminology. The types of questions that they will have within that exam could be multiple choice, it could be short answer, but one of the things what we will be doing is actually allowing them to produce financial statements where they're connected to a case study. This is something new that we've developed for this qualification. Paper 1 is worth 67% of the total marks and is assessed by a 2-hour exam. The paper is divided into 2 sections and students must study the following topics: accounting for the environment, introduction to bookkeeping and introduction to control processes. Paper 2 is worth 33% of the total marks and is assessed by a 1-hour 15-minute exam. The exam is divided into 2 multi-part questions and students must study both the preparation of financial statements and accounting for end-of-period adjustment topics. We're really excited about the new textbook that we're offering. We think you as teachers and your students are going to love it.
So why choose the Edexcel International GCSE 9-to-1 Business qualification? The specification content is set out in a similar way to the current specification. We think we have made the design of the specification a little clearer so that it is easier to see what you have to teach. But the topics are very, very similar, so you will still be able to use many of the lessons that you're using at the moment. 1 or 2 things have been brought up to date, for example, the introduction of e-commerce in the marketing section. With regard to the question papers, the 2 papers are identical in length and in design. In the first paper, the context will be a small business. In the second paper, a larger business. And it is in this second paper that students will be able to recognise some of the global brands that they encounter on a day-to-day basis in their personal lives. Moving on to talk in more detail about the International GCSE 9-1 in Commerce qualification. You'll see in the table that there are two papers, and this is a change to the current specification. Paper 1 and Paper 2 are identical in structure and in time, both worth 80 marks in 90 minutes. Paper 1 looks at commercial operations, and Paper 2 looks at activities which facilitate commercial operations. And so students will have these two aspects of commerce assessed separately. And finally, we come to our International GCSE 9-1 in economics. You will see that the content is very familiar and very similar to the content of our current International GCSE. Paper 1 will look at microeconomics and Paper 2 macroeconomics. The two papers are equally weighted and also are designed in the same way, so that students will face a similar structure and similar command words on both papers 1 and 2. First thing to say is that these two subjects are not a forbidden combination. If you choose to teach these two subjects, one big advantage is that the command words used are identical in both subjects, so that the skills that you are teaching the students would apply to both the business and the commerce qualification.
We've developed a new suite of teacher and learner resources designed specifically to support the Edexcel International GCSE 9-1 Accounting, Business and Economics qualifications. These resources include textbooks and digital support. They've been through a rigorous development and review process and have been endorsed by Edexcel. They include a rich set of activities in every chapter to support student progression, transferable skills embedded throughout the resources and signposted explicitly, which supports their development, and exam practice tests and exam-style questions to prepare students for the assessments.
Our new suite of qualifications are supported by a wide range of teaching and learning materials, resources and training. These include getting started guides, schemes of work, marked student responses to sample assessment materials, getting ready to teach events, and an extra set of sample assessment materials which gives you 2 sets of exam papers per subject for revision and practice. It also features detailed exams analysis with Results Plus, our free online in-depth mock and actual exam performance analysis tool that supports teachers to plan improvements in teaching and learning, which drives attainment.